Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos where I give you the opportunity to test your comic book grading skills up against actual results from CGC. This video is part 7 of the series that I'm doing featuring my good friend Octavio's submission to CGC. Thank you, as always, Octavio, for making your books available to all of us to practice our comic book grading skills. Let me quickly tell you what we do in these videos. So I made a recording of the books that were submitted to CGC when they were raw, before they got sent out. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at that video. We are going to assess the raw books for any damage, any flaws, anything that might impact the grade negatively. Then we are going to give our best guess as to what we think the grade should be. I'm going to give you mine, you're going to keep yours in your head. Then, after we've done that, we're going to unbox the books back from CGC. We're going to take a look at the actual grade that CGC gave the books, and we're going to compare. How did we do? Were we close? Were we far off? If we're far off, this is an opportunity to learn. And let me tell you something, in this video, I had a lot of opportunity to learn. A little bit of a spoiler alert, I whiffed on a lot of these, which is much to my surprise, but I've never professed to be an expert grader. I am just myself trying to learn and practice grading, and I'm taking you all along with me on this video series. So don't judge me too harshly when you see how far off I was on the books in today's installment. But that's enough of an intro. Let's go ahead and take a look at the books that we're going to be talking about in today's video when they were raw.
All right, first up we have Green Lantern issue number 48. Let us take a look at this book. It looks like there might be a little bit of like a stress there in the DC logo, but that's not going to cause any problems. The rest of this book looks really, really good. You see there's some cracking and kind of like tearing there where the fold happens. This is very, very light for when that happens. I don't think that's going to hurt the grade. That happens with a lot of books. The rest of this cover looks really, really great. As a reminder to those who may not have seen my other videos, I like to take these books and put them right underneath some overhead light, bounce that light right off the cover. That hot spot will show you a lot of creases that are hard to see otherwise, and creases that you miss, I think, are the number one reason people don't get the grades they expected. It's because there was a crease that they didn't see, and using light like this will help you find them if they are there. And with this book, there appears to be no there there. This book looks really, really good. That corner's got that little tear there. That's not going to be a problem for this book. That's very, very common. This book looks really, really great. I'm going to show us something fancy here. Yeah, there is what appears to be this line that goes from the top to the bottom. It's not a crease. You see how the light's not really like bending or changing? It looks like it might be some kind of printer thing from when the rollers that kind of took this book along in its printing process. I still think this book is going to get a 9.8. I have faith. Next up, we have Green Lantern issue number 49. That's a very cool cover. Let's look at what we have here. At first glance, this book looks quite good. Now, this is the one that I was really interested in seeing. Yeah, okay, so there's a little color-breaking spine tick there at the bottom towards the eye. Look, there's me showing it off. Coming up along here, there's another one right there. Yep, little color-breaking spine tick. They're not substantial, but they're there. Now, this top edge looks like there's something funky going on there. That, once again, might be just a symptom of poor printing. Same thing here along this edge, that kind of fold there, kind of creasing. It looks like it could be in the paper. It could be poor printing once again and poor paper, but I don't know. The light, you see the light was really kind of interacting with that in a way that made it look almost like, I don't know, a scratch or something. There might be a little something there in the art. I'm not so sure. This book has a lot of things that look like flaws. Look at that. Look at that crease right there. Okay, so, I mean, the creases like that, especially that are that long, they're going to hurt the grade. I mean, this book looks really good. It has some issues that look like they could be printer, but they have other issues that definitely look like creases. I'm going to go with 9.0 on this book. Next, we have The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 210. This is the first of 2 copies of this book that we're actually going to see. Now, you see that little kind of like indentation there, parallel to the spine? That should be rounded. We haven't seen that with other books. You see the way the light kind of dips in there. That looks to me, all these books were pressed. That looks to me like the paper didn't get in close enough to the spine. I'm not quite so sure, though. I'm no expert in pressing. But that does look like something that could hurt the grade. Otherwise, this book looks good. Yeah, it's just that kind of like, I don't know, it's almost like it was pressed down too hard there and caused almost a top to bottom crease. Otherwise, the rest of this book looks really, really good here so far. Maybe a little bit of a booger right there. There's some stuff going on there in the spine. That is not typical, what you see right there. Boy, I don't know. That crease on the front is what's throwing me off on this one. If you throw that out, and I think it's a 9.4. So I'm going to go with a 9.4. I don't know how much that crease on the front is going to hurt. And here's the second copy of this that we have. Let's see how we can compare this to the first. Right now, it looks pretty good. Doesn't appear to have that same problem that the other book had. But it does appear to have some small color-breaking spine ticks in there. You can see them. They're very small. You have to keep in mind this camera's right up on it. So I feel like I'm looking at this video of this book in the raw for the first time in a very, very long time. This is one of the last steps that I'm doing in the putting together of this video. And I'm starting to think that I maybe this was too easy on this because I know what grade I gave it. But looking at those color-breaking spine ticks on the front, they're really small. There's only like 2 or 3 of them. Boy, I'm on the fence. Right now, in my head, I'm like, this is either a 9.4 or a 9.6 book as it stands. Because the rest of this book looks really, really good. All right, well, I'm going to stick with the grade that I gave it. I'm going to report it as it was when I took down the note when this was first raw. And at the time, I thought it was a 9.6. It could be a 9.4, but I said 9.6.
All right, so you've had the opportunity to look at the books we're going to be talking about in this video when they were raw. You've assessed them for any kind of flaws, any kind of damage, and you have your best guess for what you think the grades might be. I have also shared with you my best guess as to what the grades might be. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the books back from CGC and see what the actual grade is. Now, in this box right here that is already opened, I have 2 of the 3 books that we are going to be looking at today. And then after we look at those 2 books, I'm going to be opening this big guy, the last of the 3 books, and we will look at one of the books from there. So let's go ahead and jump right into it right now. First, by looking at the first of 3 books that we're going to be looking at today. I've gotten really good at telling which side is the front and the back just by feel, but I know what the book is. This book is Green Lantern, Volume 3, issue number 48. Okay, great. It was my guess that this book is a 9.8. Now keep in mind your guess. Let's see what the result from CGC actually is. Okay, I've had too many instances of being wrong about 9.8s in these videos. Let's see how I did this time. 9.8. Good. Good. There's little worse than expecting a 9.8 and not getting a 9.8, especially for someone like me, because I'm very strict when it comes to assessing the potential of a 9.8. So I'm really happy to see that that book got the 9.8 that I guessed it might. This one's going to be possibly a little bit more tricky. This is Green Lantern, Volume 3, issue number 49. Now, it was my assessment that this book got a 9.0. Let's go ahead. Keep in mind what grade you gave it. Let me see how we did. Okay? Let's see if I got it right. Is it the 9.80 that I thought it is? No, it's not. It's a 9.8. That's crazy to me that there is a book that I thought might get a 9.0 and instead it got a 9.8. Now I already see, I have, as a reminder, the raw video that you just saw of the book before they got sent to CGC, I haven't looked at that video for months. So you have a much fresher idea of what this book looked like in the raw. But looking at it right now, I already see at least one small color breaking spine tick. Now, 9/8 can have flaws and still get 9/8, but I'm always a bit surprised when I'm that far off. Now, I'm very happy for Octavio that I was that far off, because a 9.8 is stupid better than a 9.0. But that being said, I don't want to be that far off, because there are books sometimes that I might submit for a 9.8 pre-screen and that I will reject because I think, oh no, that's never going to get a 9.8, and then it turns out I might be completely wrong. So I want to be wrong. I want to be right about this kind of stuff, which is why I make these videos, so that I can learn, so that you can learn. Looking at this book right now, it looks like it is better than the 9.0 that I gave it. But yeah, frankly, it looks a lot better than the 9.0 I gave it. But I don't think it's a 9.8. It probably should be a 9.6, but no, it's not. It is a 9.8, and yay, good for Octavio. Something I was just talking to Octavio about between making sections of this video, I'm going to tell you this story while I go ahead and open this guy right here, is Octavio brought me a lot of books, as you can tell, and I was going through and assessing them in a limited amount of time. And when you start looking at book after book after book after book over and over and over and over and over again, you might think that that would make you a better grader, but sometimes in the process it makes you a worse grader. You get fatigued. You get what I call comic book blind, where you're just barely even seeing stuff anymore. You're just kind of like, next, and you're just kind of like I said, you're kind of becoming comic book blind. I can't imagine what it's like for the graders at CGC. I don't know how many books a day they're expected to grade. It's probably a lot, and I do not know how they get through them without becoming comic book blind. I don't know how they retain any kind of consistency. All right, I just want to show you real fast how this is packed. This is a full-on 25-book submission. There is no extra bubble wrap in there. It is all comic books. I'm going to pull one out from the edge. I don't even know what it is. You guys do, because you saw it in the raw and I've edited it that way. But I don't know what this book is, and so I'm going to have to do a little work on it to find it. Let me see here what it is. It's this Amazing Spider-Man 210. So I need to go to here and go to my next list. And I need to find it. There are 2 copies of this book. Okay, well, tell you what, we're going to push through them. We're going to do both of them. Hopefully they're right next to each other in this box. If they're not, we'll bail out on that plan. Okay, so I had 2 grade guesses for this book. I had this is really nice Madam Web book. I had a 9.4 and a 9.6. Let's not delay any further and let's take a look. Is this a 9.4 or a 9.6? Okay, now you know. And let me take a look. A 9.0. I don't like guessing too high. I don't like guessing too high. I'm going to hope and assume that this next one is a 9.2 or higher, because I'm going to have to assume that I was off by 2 increments, but 2 increments in the wrong direction. But let's go ahead and take a look. Before I get to it, let me just double check. Is this the 210? It is. Okay, so we're going to do 4 books in this video, folks. You already knew that because you saw them raw. I didn't know that because, as you see, I'm doing this in real time. So I'm going to hope that this one, I guess 9.4 and 9.6, I'm going to hope that this one is at least a 9.4, but it is the one that I guess should be a 9.6, I assume. Let's show you the grade. I'm getting like gun shy now. I don't even want to look anymore. Let's see. 8.5. Man. Wow. So that means that what I thought was going to be a 9.4 and came back an 8.5, and what I thought is going to be a 9.6 came back a 9.0. It means I was off by increments of 4? No, 3, 9.6, 3, and then, yeah, 9.4. Yeah, increments of 3. That's not bad. I mean, that's not stupid like, Jeff, you don't know what you're doing at all. And granted, let me just be clear on something. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a professional grader. I make these videos as an opportunity for me to learn, and I share that opportunity to learn with all of you. So I hope you're all learning as much as I am, and I'm learning that usually I overgrade, meaning I choose grades that are under the results from CGC. I'm not happy when I choose grades that are over. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at these videos in the raw, and I'm going to see, like, now knowing what the grades are, and I'm going to see if I can figure out why they got the grades they did. But man, that's really, really surprising. Like, I'm looking at this 8.5 right here that I assume I thought was a 9.4. I don't know why this is an 8.5. I see 8.5s with color breaking spine ticks all the way down it. And this one has like none. There are some people who think that CGC is being a lot harder in their grading these days. This also has Newton rings all over it, which is just... Return your books if they have Newton rings. That's my advice to you. This one has a big scratch across the front of it as well. So, I mean, a lot of people like to bash CGC for the cases, for the Newton rings, for the grading. I often don't support that, and I don't agree with that. This is one instance where I'm kind of like, now I'm starting to wonder, is there some legitimacy to that? All right, so let me know down in the comments what you think about what we saw today. Did CGC really miss the boat on this? Were these grades way too harsh? Should they have been much, much higher than this? Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you like these videos, likes are appreciated by me. If you haven't already subscribed, I really recommend subscribing and going on this learning journey with me. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.